fortitude that I have personally, it comes from inside. And now intrinsic motivation is a good thing to have. But overall, the biggest winner here, the biggest ticket, the golden ticket, Willy Wonka's gain factory, right? You have to have that integrity in yourself first, and that intrinsic motivation, those two things to be able to really put a distinctive output. You know what I mean? And and at the end of it, like I said, at the end of it, have something to be dedicated to.
Yeah.
And if you don't have anything to be dedicated to, figure it out.
One of the measures of a man is to have a body, but not just to have a body, any body, but to know what your body's limits can be. And for you as a man to be able to test those limits. So in special forces, so that's one of the different things. And it's funny because I was with the guys, we're doing some event like 6 months ago or whatever. And I was like, for a while I was doing a lot of road marches by myself. 60, 80 pound ruck, 75 pounds for sure weighted, right? I'm not a runner. But I'll tell you what, put me on the ruck, bro, 15, 20 miles. Sheer willpower. I don't give a shit. I swear to God. Do it right now. And one day I woke up like that. And I went to La Jolla. They were having the La Jolla half marathon. And I got there in the morning before the marathon started. And I knew half marathon. I'm like, oh, this is like 13.5 miles. Cool. I'll just do the marathon. That's my goal, was to hit 13 miles. I finished the 13 miles and then decided to walk home from La Jolla. I live, UTC. So that was another, I'm like, that's another 7 miles. I can do a solid 20. I got 2 miles from my house, bro. And my hip flexors came out. Like I tried to take another step and I literally, I can feel it from my hip flexors. I was like, oh shit, right? So I stopped and my cell phone was dead. I went, there used to be a Verizon store right there at that mall right there in that La Jolla Village Drive in Genesee. So I walked over there, plugged into the Verizon store. It finally opened up, plugged my phone in, got it charged, called an Uber to come pick me up. And here I'm just sitting there with my big ass rucksack, right?
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere. I mean, just, it's a city part, right? The Uber driver comes, picks me up, and I'm tired. Like, I'm exhausted, right? So he goes to grab my bag and he throws it in the back. He's like, ugh! And he's like, English guy. He had an English accent. So he throws the bag in the back. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I just decided to take a walk. And he's like, oh, really? Because he looks at the Uber drive. I only have like 2 miles away, right? Yeah. So I'm 100% positive he was thinking he's just taking me this 2 mile walk from home. I'm like, yeah, I just did the La Jolla half marathon. I literally was walking through Torrey Pines. People were running past me, right? And here I am, hitting my stride. And I'm like, no, I just finished the Torrey Pines thing. So I started to walk back down from the hill. And I got to here and I got tired. And he literally goes over, he goes, are you insane, man? Like, and I'm like, no, man, I just had to do it. It was the feeling of the drive that it's hard to explain, because that's the fuel. And when you look at anything that we set our minds to, and anything, whether it's a marathon, an Ironman, it's the addiction to willpower. So your body, and I watch it when I hear David Goggins speaking sometimes, and he's like, yeah, your body wants to quit at 40%, or your mind does. Your mind wants to quit at 40%, but your body still got another 60% remaining. But that's your mind telling you it's okay to stop. And once you go past that, and the reason I liked it, and the reason I didn't care my cell phone was dead, was because, and I did this, I can't tell you how many times I did it. So I walked from my house all the way to Del Mar Beach. And I went to La Jolla, down from where Torrey Pines is at the State Beach. And then from the State Beach, walked up the coastline till I got to Del Mar, which is it's about 15 miles, give or take. And I'm like, I'm just gonna see how far I can go. And I finally got to Del Mar. I'm like, I'm good, 15 miles. Call the Uber, drives me home. Then I went from my house, and you know where I live. I went from my house all the way to the Star of India I think I did like 3 times.
I don't know where the Star of India is.
Downtown.
Okay.
You know, the ship that pirate ship downtown.
Oh, okay. That's
Right?
what it's called?
Yeah, it's the Star of India.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
I learn something new every day.
Right? But that just taking the mind out of it and just put one foot in front of the other and just the constant of just like, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
I want to keep going.
Yeah.
I want to keep going until I fall.
Right.
Like I want to feel exhaustion, you know? And it's addictive. So I was telling my buddies this. I'm like, yeah, I was doing World March the other day, blah, blah, blah. They're like, dude, what are you doing? They're trying to do like a Q course and this and that. I'm like, nah, bro, you know what? Honest to God, I feel like as men, if we don't stop and challenge ourselves in some type of form or fashion, we start losing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like truly.
Right.
So
That's the reason why I love fitness so much, man. I've always been like that, though. Since I was a kid,
yeah,
played sports. Like when you said you want to feel exhaustion, like I've felt exhaustion many times in my life.
it's a good feeling.
Many times.
Burn it down.
Where your lungs feel like they're on fire.
Mm-hmm.
You're like coughing, but nothing's coming out. Just air, dry air.
Air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twinkles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the stardust.
Yeah. Right. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I see the twinkles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something that's addictive if you've done it earlier on. It can be something that you can get addicted to too as well. But I feel like if you were bred in that type of environment, it's easy. Well, it's not
I don't
easy.
know. I was
it's not easy.
I was a latchkey kid, so you know, it wasn't that my dad ever forced me to do those things.
Yeah.
It just my from where my school was to where I lived, I would have to ride my little BMX.
Well, there you go.
You know.
Well, there you go.
all
That's
the way
what I'm
home.
saying. Right there you go. You were doing those things since you were little, and
It just expected.
it just blossomed into this fucking ruck march of 15 miles.
Because you know how I get intense on shit.
Yeah, that's you.
But the thing is that what I started to really understand the older I got is it was truly a choice. It's truly a choice of a mental state.
Yeah.
And are you willing to sacrifice getting everything out of the way, get all the emotions out of the way, and just go do?
And just do it.
And just
Like you said, one foot in front of the other.
one foot in front of the other.
Let's do it.
I went to I was in Fort Benning one time in this was like in the mid 90s, and I got we had just did a training. We were gone for about a week. I was super tired, bro. And this one was like an 18-mile road march, and then we did a whole FTX for like 3 or 4 days. Came back super tired. Just finished washing my gear. And they're like, "Hey, we need to get a group of guys." One of the commanders or the colonel, somebody was having a like a baptism or something, and he wanted to have a group of soldiers to come down and represent the company, right? And I was like, "Cool, Ramirez, you want to go?" I'm like, "Sure." So I didn't think twice, bro. Weirdest thing I can tell you right now. Weird experience. So we get to this church. Obviously, it's like a group of about 15 of us, give or take, and they started playing church games. And at that time, we were very, very deeply soldierized. And so in the room, they had carpet and they put blue tape around, and we were going to play this game called Island. And so we were all on this little island. We had to sit, and then they peeled off a layer of tape, and the island got smaller. And anybody that was outside of the island would have to get off the island, right? And so they
It's almost like musical chairs, huh?
kind of, yeah. But like it has like the tape is like, you know, this oblong shape, and then like it gets smaller, and then like another oblong shape, and then it gets smaller, another oblong shape, it gets smaller, and it gets smaller and smaller until like you have this little tiny thing. I swear to God, bro, there was like 15 dudes in like a 2-foot space. We had guys hanging, bro, like, so we didn't lose anybody. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, wow, this is kind of crazy. This is what we do. Like it just felt normal, right? So nobody got out of the island. Everybody stayed there. Church was like, okay. I bet you anything to this day, I bet you anything that had to do with some type of testing, because that I don't know why they sent us there. Then the next thing we went to, okay, because that's like random, right? I'm like, some small little church in Columbus, Georgia somewhere. Yeah. Anyhow, then we go into another room, and these chairs are scattered about. And literally the guy goes, go ahead, guys, take a seat. Bro, in unison, the chairs that were out of fashion, in line order, bam, 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 in seats, I'm talking like in less than 3 seconds. Like everybody just grabbed them, boom, sat uniform, didn't even speak. Boom, 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 lined them up in rows. That was the mentality. And I sat there, I was like, wow, we did it. Like, this is me thinking as a kid. I'm like, wow, we did a really good job. Right? Because we're soldierized. Mm-hmm. Oh, we did a good job. Look at that. We lined them up, sat down. Nobody argued. Nobody talked. Nobody did nothing. We just did it. Mm-hmm. Then the lady starts talking about the scripture. But one of the things that she had said really impacted me at that moment. And she says, if you remember a time in your life where you've been heartbroken, it only lasts for so long. That pain eventually goes away. Right. And if you also remember a great time in your life where everything's going perfect, eventually even great times go away. So just remember, good times expire, bad times expire. And as long as you know that and you're going through bad times, just remember it will also always expire. Great. Love that. We do the thing. They do the ceremony stuff. We get back in the bus. We leave. We go back. As soon as we go back, bro, the next day, another 18-mile road march. Hey, guys, we got to get up at 2 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. We got to be at this FTX at like 10 a.m. We got another 18-mile, blah, blah, blah. Shit. And I remember that night because we got up, got our stuff, boom, started humping. Got about to, I don't know, mile 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. And I was tired. Like, I was really tired. Like, I didn't sleep. Like, it's surreal. Train, go, come back, train some more. Right? And I just kept repeating the damn phrase in my head. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. I looked at my watch. 2 more miles. It's about to be over. It's about to be over. And just having that in my mind that at some point this is going to end, and I'm done. I'm accomplished. Like it's just like, you get what I'm saying? So anybody that's paying attention to this is one of the deepest life lessons that I've ever learned. Whenever you're in a breakup, you're in a bad relationship, you're in a shitty part in your finances, whether you're having a hard time at work, you're struggling at school, anything like that, and sometimes you start questioning your commitment, just remember one thing, that this too shall pass.
Beautiful.
That's it.
That was poetry. That was poetry right there. That was awesome. Yeah, I felt that one. Yeah, that's literally all it is. It's mental fortitude, like really getting past that threshold of,
and it's not
saying
that it's not going to kill you. Or you know what? and it's I appreciate certain things, witnessing certain things now. I appreciate it to a different type of detail. One of them is like watching team guys when they take them through buds and they take them underwater to the point of like drowning. And that those individuals have enough faith in the people that they're with that even if I go unconscious, that I'm okay. I'm still taken care of. And to have that certain level of trust.
Right.
And that's what they see they want in someone.
Right.
They want that person that's going to go to the point of trust, the point of their commitment, even to the point they know they're going to be incapacitated. Right? And to be able to still trust your brothers.
Yeah, that's next level. I'll tell you that right now.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. That's next level.
Think about that.
Small margin of individuals that can be able to do that. And then the trust levels.
The trust level.
That they have to be immensely strong. And I feel like to take from your story, that trust is with yourself. You got to have trust in yourself.
Yeah.
Because if we're going back to like what the purpose of this is like, how do you keep going? How do you keep doing what you're doing every single day?
Yeah.
And being good at it?
How do you wake up the next day?
And try to be better, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like having that trust that you won't let yourself down. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And
you might.
And that's okay.
Give yourself grace.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Things
Just don't
happen.
tap. Just don't tap.
Don't tap.
That's it. Just don't tap.
You'll figure out another way, or figure out what went wrong. Mm-hmm. Figure it out. Mm-hmm. Figure it out. Ask yourself the question.
As men, if we don't stop and challenge ourselves in some type of form or fashion, we start losing ourselves. Mm-hmm. Anything that we set our minds to, and anything, whether it's a marathon, an Ironman, it's the addiction to willpower. You know, if you remember a time in your life where you've been heartbroken, it only lasts for so long. That pain eventually goes away.